So Armageddon, Brian.
Armageddon. Now, we've got an interesting moment coming up in time when there's the 21st of December 2012, the crossing of the Milky Way galaxy equatorial line into the 1,000-year reign of Christ. You go back 888 days and it gives you 7/17/2010. In other words, July the 17th, 2010. What's the 7/17? Armageddon in Greek. So you've got Jesus,
and
Armageddon and Jesus.
The population of Israel at the moment, number of people per square mile?
That's right.
717.
That's right. We discovered that many, many years ago.
Yeah, so maybe more now, but at that time.
Yes, that's right. So it's all synchronistic. In other words, there is a pattern that happens with the unfolding of history that is aligned with a pre-existence, which is what Jesus talked about. Why? That at the end time, all these things will come to pass. Why? Because it's already happened in the heavenly realm. And the human body, the DNA of your human body is driven by your soul. That is why you can look at this marvellous intrinsic movement of interconnected atoms that's going on, and this marvellous thing is one cell. One cell. Got billions of movements of electrons in it. When the soul dies or leaves the body, they go, stop. What does that mean? It means soul is what drives the
Because
soul.
it's tethered together with the biological anatomy.
Exactly.
And what about the flagellum bacteria, Brian? Do you want to say just a little bit about
Well, that's a wonderful thing. The flagellum bacteria has a little whip-like structure that is made up of 40 component parts.
It's like a little bean with a tail.
It's like a little bean with a tail, but it's 4 billion to a thimbleful.
Oh, yes.
That's a tone of the hour.
Nanotechnology.
They develop themselves in like that quick, right? And these things are...
Have 40 components.
It's just in the tail rotor section. It's the most efficient motor. It's called a nanotechnology, really, because the motor itself spins at 100,000 revs per second.
Stops in quarter of a turn.
Can stop in quarter of a turn.
And reverse.
And reverse, right? Now this thing is made of component parts, one after the other, with a shaft and an armature and a rotor and bearings and all this kind of stuff. Commutator. And at the very end of it, they then put a whip-like structure called a flagellum, because it looks like a whip. And it just spins around this huge plane. Now some of them have got 3 and 4 in their body. And they're going all directions. And all they do is seek others and make more.
But tell what their role is in the assembly of the DNA components.
Well, the actual role itself as
Unzipping and zipping?
That's right. So when you have a DNA component, for example, you have the double helix, and it'll unwind. This little machine comes along and unwind this double helix. It straightens it out. It's a curl like that. It straightens it out, and it's got the code. And this little machine comes along and zips it apart, and then as it's rolled apart, it keeps this part separate. Then this other machine comes along and it starts assembling a bit to replace that bit. And then when that's made, it is then taken off, and another machine grabs it and takes it into like a little factory. A little flap opens up, and this is taken inside by this little worker of some sort. Some little truck moves this 400 component piece of material of protein, and then it goes inside and it rolls it up, and then when it opens, you can't see what's happening inside there because it's too small. When it comes out again, it's got the bit needed to be taken and then put it into the peach that you might have scratched your ass while you was in the shower or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're just carrying on, and these millions of things are happening at the same time because you nicked yourself while you're shaving.
Yeah, and it comes out to repair it.
And it comes to repair it.
And these are the things that separate the DNA. They make the protein chains. They make the amino acids. They assemble all the minerals and all the chemical codes in your body.
You get to the point where you get a virus comes along and it goes into the centre of your DNA and it takes over the instruction manual and starts to say, right, we're not going to make a nice healthy cell anymore with the instructions coming in from all over your body. What we're going to do now is we're going to make a virus.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes a virus and it keeps on spitting them out until it fills the cell, and the cell finally bursts, and then it goes into your blood system, and that infiltrates into more cells. Right? So then you take a drink of colloidal silver, and it goes in there, and it physically chokes the breathing mechanism of the virus.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then the DNA in the cell will recognise damage in the body, because they have messengers come and give them instructions. Hey, you've got something in your back of your knee, something needs fixing, right, or something in your eye or whatever. And it's all different types of tissue, whatever, and it'll get instructions, so the cell will start to manufacture that, but because it's now got silver in it, it'll make two. It'll make an immature one and make a mature one, and then take it to where it needed and put it in position. And then...
Like a stem cell implant.
It's like a stem cell implant. Then it repairs the cell, and then this other one comes and when it's used. Now, if it's not necessary, it'll take it somewhere else and put it somewhere else, and then make a piece of eyelash, perhaps, or a piece of the tip of your ear, whatever, liver, doesn't matter. Wherever that is involved, that little tiny thing has been made by the DNA in another part of your body, might be your wrist, for example. It ends up in your liver, but now it needs a liver cell, and the cells around it will increase and tell it what to manufacture, and it starts manufacturing that cell.
So, and this is just the tip of the iceberg with, you know, cybernetics or cyborgs, or actually the fact that we are the construction of a great designer, and all these intermingling components are working together in great complexity. But there's also a great increase in communication that we can have on a higher level as we are tuning ourselves in the regeneration immortality program, right?
Well, immortality is only a matter of a very short distance away.
That's right. But you don't want to have immortality of a defunct body. You want to have immortality of an upgraded body, a glorious body.
Your soul will achieve that. Once the soul takes on the immortality, which is only an acceptance of the Lord today, you become immortal. This is what the 144,000 messages is to go out. And not to talk about stuff that's very complex. To talk about, believe and you're in. It's about that simple. It's a livening of the soul, and because the soul is crying out for the moron that it runs around inside to wake up. Right? Stop drinking fluoride. Stop doing all these terrible things to yourself which inhibit the ability of your body to act in a healthy way. And let's get into the government and say, right, you're out of here. We're going to do it right.
You've been putting fluoride in the water, and you know that it's a poison.
Of course it is. If you don't know, you're incompetent. You shouldn't be there in the first place.
And you're allowing NATO military planes to spray Australia.
That's right. And if you don't know that's true, you're incompetent. You shouldn't be in there.
Have a look at the sky every day.
That's right.
And you know that all of these mind controls and frequency controls and
everything,
and the subliminal messages on the television, they know what's going on.
That's right.
If they don't, they shouldn't be in there.
That's right. That's right. So we have this... free debate of all people, but there comes a time when that ends. All the ideas are out there, you've tried it all, and whatever human beings collectively come up with is always towards evil. Because if there ain't a buck in it, we ain't doing it. Right?
Bottom line, the dollar.
Profit. Bottom line's a dollar. So the reality is we now know what the straw man's all about, so you and I, of course, have been exposing that, and many other people are doing the same thing. So do we all have to abide by the laws of the banks and actually apply to have a straw man cancelled, or just say, get rooted? Right, we're not putting up with it anymore. And that Australian, or the English fellow who became an Australian, Peter Finch, in that movie that he was in, I'm not going to take it anymore. It was a brilliant speech he had in there. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So he encouraged people to say, hey, we've had enough. We ain't going to take it anymore. Then you can go to Kennedy's speech, and he talked about the conspiracies. And if people don't believe there's conspiracies, listen to Kennedy.
That's right. Why they bump him off? Yeah.
Why they kill him?
Huh? He wanted to do the right thing.
He wanted to do the right thing.
Exposed.
He said in this modern age it was unconscionable, I think he said, to have conspiracies. And he said that's what they are. They have taken over everything. They do everything at night. In
secret societies, yeah.
Yeah, it's a death society.
Well, it's a disclosure time now. Things are going to be disclosed. All the things that have been covering up, the truth, are going to be seen for what they are. Yeah.
Well, I've been inviting, ever since I was in Canada, I did this in secret, for the Jews to come kill me. And of course, as we know the story is, they tried. And then, once I'm now on the internet telling everybody, they all know where I am, come get me.
They can't, because of the angelic frequencies.
They can't. That's the whole point. Cannot be done. So, this is, we're at the stage now that people who see these videos and they say, hey, he's right. Why isn't he dead? What's he promising? What's he asking for? Asking for nothing. But what's he promising? Everything. And he's prepared to die for it.
But you can't die.
Exactly the point. So they have to say to him, so that if he's not dying, and he's saying he can't die, and all they got to do is kill him to stop this movement, they don't.
Okay, Brian, we'll do one more video after this one's concluded in another 3 seconds. and we'll call that a day. What do you think, mate?